So it is Thursday, February 16th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Thursday puzzle today, so potentially some kind of interesting or intricate theme, and hopefully not too brutally challenging. This isn't one of my days on which I'm incredibly pressed for time, but I would like to solve the crossword relatively quickly today just because I have some things that I need to get on to take care of, so we'll see how cooperative this puzzle is. And this potentially cooperative or maybe uncooperative puzzle has been brought to us by Tom Nemchek, Matt R., Jake Rodkin, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They are the reason, along with all of my patrons, that I'm able to keep doing this every day. So thank you to them. Thank you to you if you're a benefactor or if you're a patron at any level. You can become one at patreon.com/dailysolve or a link in the description field underneath the video. Benefactors, of course, get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, and everybody, regardless of tier, gets access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, and that includes today another acrostic puzzle. So do enjoy that. I really have been enjoying these acrostic puzzles, and sadly, I'm not going to get to keep doing them for very much longer. There's an explanation of that in the video itself. Other than that, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not yet done so. That's free and very helpful. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field as well. Nice friendly chat community over there. So let's get on to the puzzle. This is, as I said, a Thursday puzzle, and that is the day on which we often have our most sort of interesting or novel theme of the week. So that may well be what's in store for us today. It was constructed by Kevin Patterson, who has constructed a small handful of puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Sound before a toast. It could be the clink of a glass, or maybe a ding of a toaster? Or the ding of a glass, I guess, or a sort of fork against a glass, something like that. Common conjunction. I'm just wondering if this gives me an obvious hint. I mean, it could be nor, if it were ding or ting or something. Ring. GIF EG, or GIF EG if you prefer that, is an image file format, graphical interchange format. Image, so this is really looking like ing, isn't it? Ones who don't want to hear that you're laying down on the job. I'm wondering if it's intentional that says laying rather than lying, which would be more grammatically correct. So I'm wondering if that's part of the pun, because you could be laying something down. Not sure. I'm wondering if it's one of the theme clues, because it's a question mark clue and it's longer than the average word entry. In any case, we're not sure yet. Spanish term of endearment. Mi amor, maybe? My love? Oh, here we go. Accept defeat in modern parlance, or a hint to entering 5 answers in this puzzle. All right, so this is our revealer, and unusually the revealer, which I haven't really described very often recently, the revealer is the answer, well, the clue answer pair that ties together the theme and sort of explains what's going on, or sometimes gives us a hint, as in this case, to how to enter the theme answers in the puzzle, which will share some kind of subject matter or linguistic element or some other thing. Anyway, to accept defeat, to say uncle, maybe? So, Turkish city that lends its name to a species of rabbit, cat, and goat. Oh. I would have thought this was Angola. Or Angora, I mean. I guess not. I must be thinking of something completely wrong. Underground rock. Magma? Oh, Ankara? Bit of progress. Inroad? What's going on? Say uncle. So something is wrong here, and it's probably to do with the theme, or I'm just missing something. Cousin blank succession character. Cousin Greg. Okay, right. So what happens if I fill in the acrosses? A speck of dust, a mote or something. Sound of contentment could be ah. expatriate could be, or an expatriate to sort of why can't I think of this word? Deport, sorry. Boy, that was ridiculous. It's just, it's one of those funny cases where you sort of know the word and you're thinking of the word, and yet your brain can't resolve it into a series of letters or syllables. That's the strangest thing when that happens. Okay, so this is say uncle, but it's being turned into something else. Right or not? Non-basic characteristic. Acid, if it's sort of non-basic on a pH scale. I just have no idea what the downs are doing, so I can't really infer anything from that. What about this one? Ones who, oh right, yeah, we looked at that already. Lead into care. I don't know, skincare, I mean, there's any number of things. Aid in self-defense. Judo or something. Last model in iPod's product line was the Nano. No, I guess it wasn't. iPod Mini, Shuffle, Nano. What other iPods were there? Oh, iPod Touch, which is essentially an iPhone without cellular capability, I think. Director Greta Gerwig is a writer, director, and actor. Grin and bear it! Exclamation point. So the exclamation point generally means it's a comment about the answer rather than a synonym or definition of the answer. So grin and bear it would be a pun we could make about the answer, essentially. And the reason I said, well, actually I don't remember what I said, but bear here is spelled in a way that means to shed or to expose. So as opposed to grin and bear it, meaning grin and accept or deal with it. So, but for some reason, I can't seem to see what it is. Actor Sharif, Omar Sharif. It's the actor in Lawrence of Arabia, among many other films. A cry of triumph after a good performance. Ha, or something? I don't know. Cry of triumph after a good performance. Restaurant critics' concern. Ambiance? There we go. That would be something a restaurant critic might comment on. Dramatic honor could be an Obie, an off-Broadway award. So what is this? Cry of triumph after a good performance. I have no idea what this is. I think these both seem correct to me. Easter egg making supply. Food dye? Something is going on in this puzzle that I can't figure out. Grin and bear. Oh, fang. You could bear a fang by grinning. Cry of triumph after a good performance. NAI. I can't tell if I'm just doing something wrong or if I'm just not getting the theme yet. I think it's the latter, but I'm not sure. Word that retains its meaning when its third letter is removed. Oh, I wish I could just jump straight to this, but I don't think I can. Dorm VIPs, this comes up occasionally. I think it's RAs, I think it's residential assistants or something like that. Sort of student helpers to the, I don't know, kind of employed university staff, and they help with the dorms. I'm not, yeah. Anyway, next generation releases. Next generation releases. Not sure. Scented pouch. A sachet of, something fragrant, like, I don't know, dried flower petals or something, potpourri. Start of XXX. Oh, tick. Is X, yeah, oh, I see, as in tic-tac-toe, a winning tic-tac-toe row column or diagonal. Okay, Levels DJ 2011. I have no idea. Levels, yeah, I do not know. And then the word that retains its meaning when its third letter is removed. So when the T is removed, the word remains the same. I'm not sure. Oh, that's so frustrating. I wish I could see it. Musical with the song, it's The Hard Knock Life, Annie. Which I've never actually seen, but it's a very famous song. Rotund and round. There we go. Very good, very clever. All right. Next generation releases are OVA. Okay. Is something to do? I mean, I was wondering when I first read it, was it something to do with the reproductive process and it'll be sort of progeny or something like that? But could be ova, the eggs. I'm still not certain though, because I don't know the levels, DJ. This is a tough cross for me right now. Exchange words. I do's? Scented pouch. Daredevil may hit the slopes with it. Hit the slopes with it, I don't know. Female whales. What are female whales called? I'm not sure about that either. This is not going well, is it? Vehicle with a pedal assist mode. An e-bike, an electric bike. Oh, a daredevil may hit the slopes with one ski. Okay, right, that would make sense. So exchange words to edit, to change words around in a manuscript or something. What on earth is this? I just have not the slightest clue what this is. Lead. I mean, it's making me wonder if something else is wrong. Aid in self-defense. Okay. And Easter egg. Oh, I guess I don't know. This is food. Seems like it would be, doesn't it? Is there something? What is going on here? Except if you so. In modern parlance, say uncle. Sorry, I didn't really take this into account. Say uncle isn't really modern parlance. That's a long-standing phrase. Take the L. Ting. It is ting. Why did I put an S there? It's because I just jumped straight to say uncle and I didn't think about the cross. That was a terrible, terrible decision. Take the L. Take the loss is to accept defeat in modern parlance. Okay, so we're taking the L away from some clues in the puzzle. Okay, so this does look like Ankara now. Ones who don't want to hear that you're laying down on the job. Lead into care. Aid in self-defense. Industry bigwig. A tycoon or a baron or something, a sort of, an oil baron, for instance. Easter egg making supply. Food. I just do not know. Okay, let's keep looking around. This is not my finest solve. Band with the 1982 hit "I Want Candy." Oh, I don't know. I mean, I can think of the song, but I have no idea what the band was. Maybe I'll recognize it. Non-basic characteristic. And joint stockholders ? So I'm wondering if joint is going to be something dealing with pot. Joint stockholders, pot some things. Maybe something minus an L? Flat for short. Letter-shaped gasket. A U-pipe or something? Certain money transaction. Henry Ford or Nikola Tesla. Namesakes of car brands. Inventors, or not really. Henry Ford wasn't really an inventor per se. Not sure. Emphatic affirmative. Yes, 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 maybe, or something. Something, yes. Hunk. Lights up. Engineer? A hunk could be a gob. Lights up. Pressure. Duress, you're under pressure, you're under duress. To seek damages from someone is to sue them. Okay, this is finally working out. A unit of corn is an ear. A brilliant fish is a tetra. That is a kind of fish that is brightly colored. Pod producer. And singer known as the Queen of New Age, Enya, one of the sort of second-tier official musicians of the New York Times crossword. Lights up is beams. Ah, right, okay. So treasure is to esteem something, is to treasure it, to highly value it. And a pod producer is what? Why don't I see what this one is? Emphatic affirmative. God, yes. Pod producer, Tide. Why is that the case? Oh, Todd. Right, Tide laundry detergents. Those Tide pods that for some reason turned into a weird, really weird meme a few years ago. Okay. Letter-shaped gasket. Oh, an O-ring. Right. Okay. Boy, I just could not. Brain was not in the right place for that. Sorry, that was probably very frustrating for many of you. Certain money transaction, a wire, a bank transfer sort of wire, a wire transfer. Female whales, whales, cows. Female whales are cows. Okay. And then certain woodwind requirement is an oboe reed. You might need a reed for your oboe, which is a woodwind instrument. Okay. Juillet to juillet. So this looks like Juliet at a glance, but actually, if you look where the I is positioned, it's juillet, which is July in French. So it's the duration of a year, which is année in French as well. There are two words for year in French, an and année, and masculine and feminine respectively. And it's sort of odd how each is used in the sense that it's not incredibly obvious to explain how, but année, the feminine version, is used more often with duration. Okay, alternative to wind or solar. Nuclear, wind or solar energy. What else? I'm not sure. Snap, crackle, and pop. Noises? Is it as simple as that? Blank honor, your honor, maybe how you'd address a judge? I'm not sure if that's... I think that the H would be capitalized in that usage, wouldn't it? It might give you the chills. Well, ice might give you the chill. Well, this alternative to wind or solar, it's the beginning of nuclear. Oh, do we just drop the word entirely at the L and take the L? Nuclear? That seems a little bit strange, doesn't it? Well, scepter toppers are orbs. Sorry, I'm just going to keep looking elsewhere. Put, as in a royal scepter. Put on is don clothing or air a television program or what? Take or pose. Sturgeon delicacy, sturgeon roe. I think sturgeon roe is caviar. It's for freezing. Brr, you could say it's very cold. Workplaces for some essential workers in brief ERs. So essential workers would certainly be the medical professionals in an emergency room. And to put on in the past is war, right? You have to be very careful about that. When you see something like put on and you read that and you think it means put on in the present, but in fact, it's using it in past tense in this context. And so war, I put it on yesterday, I wore it yesterday. Okay, band with the 1982 hit I Want Candy. I just don't think I know. Multi-hued bird. Oh, we had the tetra fish earlier. What bird is multi-hued? Not sure. Blank from the bridge. Is it a view from the bridge? Arthur Miller play. I have no idea if that... Well, that's funny actually, because that makes this look like bow wow wow. Is there any way that's possibly true? Flat for short. I don't know. Non-basic characteristic. Oh, low pH. Oh, right. So I was on the right track with that, possibly, if this all holds together. Event first observed in 1970. Oh, Earth Day maybe was first celebrated in 1970, perhaps. And ones who don't want to hear that you're laying down on the job. Write this again. And I'm not sure. Flat for short. Oh, 2D, two-dimensional. Lead into care. And aid in self-defense. Sketchy stranger in slang. A rando? Sort of modern way to refer to a random person, someone you don't know. Joint stockholders. What is this? Pot dealers? I guess Yeah, so we are dropping everything after the L. Oh, wait. It's the same, we're dropping the same thing. It's lear, Lear, nuclear, pot dealer. Right, okay, now what does that mean? Take the L, take the lear? Why is that? Why is that? Take the L ear? I do not know what that means yet. Multi-hued bird, a macaw. Hot towel before a meal, say. A nicety, maybe? Nice formality. Cannon loader, a ramrod is used to load a cannon. Highway number is the route of a highway in the interstate highway system, possibly in the US. Blockbuster of 2009 is Avatar. There we go. Certainly aware of that, even though I've not seen it myself. Kind of milk, oat milk. Very current kind of milk. And like Sauvignon Blanc would be a dry white wine. So there we go. I think I might complete this puzzle without understanding the theme. Aid in self-defense. Still not sure. Something like kata or something? Ambiance. Oh, is it ambiance with an E? Does that help? Aid in self-defense. I don't know. I think it is ambiance with an E, though. Lead into care. What am I not getting here? Maybe this is one of those L things. So polier. Once you don't want to hear that you're laying down on the job. Oh, this is infuriating. Oh, food coloring. No, that's not. Oops, sorry. No. Sorry, what am I doing? This is a disaster. There we go. Food color. So that would be luring, as opposed to leer, but we're still dropping everything after the L. Okay, so maybe is it just a coincidence that two of these had the same? They didn't they? Pot dealer. Oh, the black cells are spelling out an L. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I'm a complete fool. Pot dealer, food coloring, nuclear. Oh, nail. Oh, right. We never looked at this. Cry of triumph after a good performance. Nailed it. Ledit. This says EDIT. Is that a coincidence? Nailed it? That looks like maybe a coincidence. Does that occur elsewhere? Pot deal. No. I think that's just a weird coincidence. That's so funny. Now, what does that mean? What did these... Oh, wait, no. No. It does happen again down here. Nailed it. It comes out of the L. It sort of goes through a pipe. There we go. I finally have it. Do I? Pot dealers. Yes. Oh, and it's pluralized, so it's not actually even the same. Here we have nuclear. Okay. Oh, it wasn't the same. Sorry. It wasn't LEAR. It was LER. This has been a catastrophe. I'm very sorry about this. What a complete mess of a solve. Anyway, so this is grammar police. I was on to that. Okay. I was sort of on the right track, but it didn't help me solve the theme whatsoever. Once you don't want to hear that you're laying down on the job, because to lay something down, you'd have an object that you lay something else down, or you lay yourself down. But if you're just lying down, you lie down. But you could say, now I lay me down to sleep, because you are the thing that is being laid down by yourself. Okay, so anyway, it's the grammar police who care about that sort of thing. And finally, I understand the puzzle, I think. I don't think I understand this. Is it a Vici? I don't know. Let's find out. It is. So that was a tough final cross. I did think this was over. Next generation releases. It was just tough to be certain without having any familiarity with this Levels DJ from 2011. But there we go. All right, well, I don't know how well camouflaged this theme was to others. To me, it really held its secrets until the absolute very end. Be very curious to know how you fared with this one. But it really, I was sort of getting scraps of it throughout the solve, but it took ages for some reason for me to piece it all together and notice these L's. I wish I would have noticed that right at the beginning of the solve, because it's a striking element of the grid, and it actually keeps the grid from being symmetrical in any fashion whatsoever, which is extremely unusual for a New York Times crossword grid. So I really should have recognized that right off the bat. If you took away the extra little foot from each of the L's, we would have a rotationally symmetric grid in the sense that if you rotated the grid 180 degrees, the black cells would be identically disposed to how they are now. But with those L shapes, the grid is completely asymmetrical. There's no way to sort of rotate or fold or mirror this crossword in any way that will actually keep the black cells matched up. And that would have been a huge clue. It would have been a very big clue. So let me know if you found the theme, or at least if that helped you solve the theme, or if you found it through completely different means. But there we go. That was a tough one for me for some reason. And now let's quickly, but well done, I have no complaints with the constructor, Kevin Patterson. And I'm very pleased that my initial sort of grammar police response to this clue ended up paying off. It just took the entirety of 22 minutes for that to eventually come back around. But I'm glad it did. All right, so let's, there we go. Let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle quickly, and then I'll wrap this video up. So most importantly from yesterday's puzzle, and this is so I did some reading about Double V, the Double V campaign, the World War II era Black Civil Rights campaign, well, sort of precursor to the full-scale Black Civil Rights campaign in the United States. And it's a very interesting thing that I wish I'd already known about. And Kathleen Quinn brings over this bit from the New York Times wordplay column. Double V stands for double victory. It was proposed by James G. Thompson, who worked at a factory in Wichita, Kansas that manufactured aircraft for the military. The first V for victory over our enemies from without, so the actual war aim. The second V for victory over our enemies from within. Essentially, the campaign called out the hypocrisy that the United States expected its black citizens to help defeat tyranny abroad while they were being subjected to racism at home. And it's it's an incredibly interesting campaign, and it does seem that it was a huge, not inspiration per se, that would be putting it, I think that would be diminishing the kind of enormity of the civil rights movement, but it was certainly one of many kind of elements that fed into the broader civil rights movement. So that was an incredibly interesting bit of history that I do wish I'd already known, but nice to have seen it reflected in yesterday's puzzle and during Black History Month in the States and, well, in North America more broadly, I believe. Let's see, what else? So Stephen Giblin observes, I noticed Chris didn't go back to 19 across some bunts in brief. Sacks, S-A-C-K, and therefore saved himself, S-A-C-S, and thereby saved himself from trying to describe the baseball play known as the sacrifice bunt. Yes, indeed. I don't remember even noticing that clue. Maybe I did briefly, but indeed I wouldn't have been very useful in explaining it. Jacques C.A. says SMERSH, S-M-E-R-S-H, was the real-world counterintelligence agency of the Soviet Union, later replaced in the James Bond books by the fictional Spectre. There we go. Maybe that's why I was familiar with SMERSH. I sort of just assumed I was familiar with it from James Bond, but never having read any James Bond books, I don't necessarily know why that's the case. So it must have just been floating around in my head somewhere from actual knowledge, I guess, or clearly not very deep knowledge in my case. But thank you for that observation. And finally, Nix Hicks clarifies that the word for 11 in Spanish is pronounced once. So thank you for that as well. All right, and that is that for yesterday's clues. That's that for today's puzzle and today's video. I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday puzzle. Won't be any strange L-shaped themes in the grid, at least unlikely to be. Just solving in a themeless crossword, so do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.